in the series to date. There was a bonus for England, in fact, that Jeff Thompson couldn't take the field. He's torn fibres off the tendon sheath in his right shoulder playing tennis on the rest day, and I doubt very much if he'll be taking any further part in this series, and I doubt very much if he'll play again in the Australian summer. If the diagnosis is correct, it's the same one as I had on my shoulder in 1961. I can tell you that took a long time to get right so that I could bowl again in that 1961 series, and in fact, pessimistically, my shoulder was never right again. Well, in the England second innings, Dennis Lillee and Max Walker took the new ball. Here's Lillee bowling the first over, and the batsman is Dennis Amos.
Good. Yes, he's out. Amos is out without scoring. England 1 for 0.
This is an ideal type of pitch for Max Walker. He'll get plenty of cut, and Lloyd will have to watch him as he'll be cutting the ball away from the left-hander.
Lloyd gets that one away. It's out towards the fence, and that's 4 runs to David Lloyd. His first scoring shot. First ball he's faced in this innings. Now 2 short legs introduced here for Colin Cowdrey. It's Redpath and McCosker. 3 slips in a gully. Walker to bowl. And that's wide of Mallet. There's a couple of runs here for Cowdrey. They got their first. Back they go for the second. Mallet onto it now. They're thinking of the third. They are. They're coming back to complete 3 runs. So Cowdrey off the mark. Total goes to 8 with Lloyd 5, 1 for 8. Caught. He's out. Caught that third slip by Greg Chappell, and Lloyd is out for 5.
And there it is, Lloyd not getting across to the ball cutting off the pitch a good length, and the outside edge saw the ball go straight to Greg Chappell, who made no mistake.
Caught brilliantly, caught by Mallet. And Cowdrey is out for 3, England 3 for 10. What a sensational start.
Cowdrey never got anywhere near the ball as it did move away off the pitch, and a magnificent left-hand catch was taken by Ashley Mallet.
Fletcher was the second highest scorer. Just looking at the England first innings, he scored 40, second only to Dennis, who scored 51. Now that's wide of Mallet. That'll be 4 runs to Fletcher. Lillee to Fletcher. And again, we've got the situation with Fletcher backing away towards the leg side. Walker bowling to Dennis. Cuts wide of the fieldsman Edwards. That should be 4 runs. He won't get to that one. That's into the fence over on the eastern side for 4 to Dennis. Slashes at that. It's wide of Ross Edwards, and that will beat him into the fence for 4 more runs to Dennis.
That's beaten the field. It's going out towards the boundary. Edwards is after it. That's a long boundary out there. But that was so well timed. It's going into the fence for 4. And really well hit by Fletcher. Now Walker from this end to bowl to Fletcher. And is he very close? There was a dive by Marsh. He's cracked that one. Jenner's underneath it. He's out. Straight to Jenner. The man was placed there, so Dennis has caught Jenner. Bowled Lillee for 14. Fletcher not out 11. England 4 for 33. And Lillee has 3 for 10. There's the replay. Now Lillee starting his 6th over has the figures of 3 for 11. Fletcher taking strike. And that was a searing one. That was over the head of Marsh. They'll go through for 1. That will be a bye. That's been hit out towards the 3rd man area. That could be 4. Jenner, no, can't get to it.
Walker to Greg. Cuts it nicely. That's 4 runs to Greg. That's the shot that he does like. Beautifully executed. Walker to Greg. Hit on the pad. Confident appeal, and he's out. LBW. England 5 for 76 with Greg out for 20. LBW to Walker.
The ball cut back from outside the off stump and kept low, and there was the plumb LBW decision as Greg was completely beaten. And so Max Walker has struck another blow for Australia now. The scoreboard showing 5 for 76.
That's wide of Jenner. That could be 4 runs. Jenner chasing, but I think it will beat him into the fence for 4 runs to Fletcher. I'll take a run. Yes, that's wide of Jenner. He's sprinting after it, but he won't get it now. That's into the fence. It'll beat him for 4 runs. 1 more delivery to go from Mallet. Then it'll be interesting to see if Chappell has a bowling change from that far end for the last over of the day. Take a couple of runs now. Lilly stretching his left hand out, but was unable to get the ball, going back for the second. And back they come for 3 runs, so Knott will have the strike at this end for the start of the last over of the day's play.
England began the day, the final day of the 5th Test match, at 94 for 5, with Fletcher and Knott the overnight not-out batsmen. No one really expected them to last out the day. 6 hours to play and only 5 wickets to fall. That was a really tough assignment. And although the weather was hot and conditions were pretty much in favour of batting, it looked to be a very tall order as far as England were concerned. We join play now in the 2nd over of the day. Dennis Lilly is the bowler, and he's bowling to Keith Fletcher.
Fletcher, that's wide of the fieldsman, racing away to the fence. That's just forward of the square leg umpire, and 4 runs to Fletcher. Picked that one off his toes nicely. Takes him past his first innings score in this match, which was 40. He now goes to 43 with that 4, and that's the 100 up for England. 5 for 101. In 156 minutes. That's another nice shot by Fletcher. That's 4 more runs. Cuts, that's wide of Mallet. That's 4 more runs. Racing away to the fence. There's no third man. That's 3 fours in this over from Fletcher. Right, for Mallet to continue, he'll be bowling to Knott, who's on 12. It's wide of the fieldsman. Ross Edwards chasing. He'll pick it up about 10 metres inside the boundary. And 2 runs to Knott. It's a good return by Ross Edwards. Knott to 14. Fletcher 51. Total moving now to 111. 5 for 111. It's all the way along the ground to Edwards. No run. In Chappell, close in on the offside at Silly Point. Redpath, the other fieldsman, in close on the leg side. And no slip, so Knott delicately steers that one down in that vacant area. Going back for the second. It's a long chase around for McCosker, and they'll come back to complete 3. Five for 114. Knott 17. Fletcher 51. Wide of the fieldsman, square leg umpire having to jump out of the way, and that will beat the players into the fence over on the eastern side for 4 more runs to Knott. Or will it? No, it's picked up just before it rolls into the guttering. And the fieldsman there was Walker. Slowed down remarkably in the last several metres. Good long throw in there for Max Walker. Lilly to Knott. It's the first bouncer from Lilly this morning. Not having plenty of time to duck underneath that one. It was quite short. It's wide of the fieldsman, Redpath. A long chase for Jenner, and it beats him into the fence for 4 runs to Fletcher. To Knott, rather. At the end of the over from Lilly, Knott goes to 24, the total to 122. 8 runs off the over there from Lilly, has 3 for 44. Fletcher sweeping backward a square, but Walker a misfield. They've got 1. I think that's all they'll be interested in, as McCosker came into field. 1 more to Fletcher. He goes to 53, and it's the 50 partnership between Fletcher and Knott in 54 minutes. McCosker stationed right out on the fence at deep backward square. Should not decide to hook. And that's what he does. Can McCosker get to it? No, he can't. Chasing right around. Went out more through mid-wicket. McCosker's onto it now. There's the throw coming back. And the batsmen have completed 3 runs. It's a good stroke by Knott. That could be 4. I think it will be. Chasing is McCosker, but he won't get that one. That's 4 to Alan Knott. It's Ross Edwards. Fletcher in Brisbane, 17 and 19. Second test, 4 and a duck. Didn't play in Melbourne in the 3rd test, and in the 4th test he got his highest score in the first innings of 24 and 11 runs in the 2nd innings. Prior to this test match, out of the 3 that he played in, only 75 runs was his aggregate. 40 in the first innings here, and now 59 to Keith Fletcher. In the air, but quite safe. It's going down. McCosker's down there. It's 4 runs. McCosker couldn't quite get to it. He had a long chase around. He's over the head of Mallet at Gully and travelled quite quickly across the outfield for 4 runs to Fletcher. But on the paddy's out. LBW. Fletcher is out. And England 6 for 144 with Fletcher out. LBW to Lilly for 63.
And that's going over the head of the square leg out towards the boundary and into the fence for 4. Straight over Redpath's head, and 4 more to Knott. He races up to 48. And England 6 for 157. Titmus yet to score. That one lifted from a length, and not a little bit lucky there, the ball going off the shoulder of the bat. But that's the first one we've seen it behave erratically off this pitch. Now the leg spin from Terry Jenner at the far end. He'll be bowling to Knott. And they'll get a single here, just pushing it to backward square leg, and that's the 50 to Knott. Knott is 50. Titmus 2, 6 for 161, 50 in very good time, 101 minutes with 3 fours. And that's about the 4th half-century, I think, that that Knott has scored in this series. He's been a very consistent and prolific scorer for England. And bouncing short of the slip fieldsman, Chappell. They've taken 1. That was off the edge of the bat, it appeared. We'll just see the umpire's call there definitely to confirm it was a catch. Well, we can't really call it a catch if it falls short of the fieldsman, but there was almost a chance to Ian Chappell. And that's going high up in the air over the mid-wicket area, and it's bouncing slowly into the fence, and 4 more to Knott.
So Knott takes his aggregate past the 300 mark by going on to 55. Titmus is 3, 6 for 167. And that could have been a catch by the reaction of Marsh. It was over the head of Redpath. Now that Walker again to bowl to Knott. That's wide of Mallets going down to the third man area. We have a fieldsman, McCosker. They'll take 2. Knott to 59, the total to 173. And again, steered perfectly through that gap between slip and gully. That's going down towards the long boundary. Chance this time of running 3 as McCosker had to cover about 30 or 40 metres. They're coming back for an easy 3. Well, not to 62, and the total to 176 with Titmus on 5. Titmus has had one good score in this series so far. Had a 61 in the second innings of the second test in Perth. That's the only time he's got over about 20. And that's a fine-looking shot. That's going out towards the boundary. There's no fieldsman within 50 metres of that ball, and Jenner just loping round from deep fine leg. And 4 to Titmus. That would be his first 4. He goes on to 9. Knott is 62, 6 for 180. And this scoring rate is fairly good. They've scored 86 now this morning in just on 90 minutes of play. In other words, they're still continuing to go fast enough to win the game. Well, that's through the covers, and a chase here again for Edwards. They've taken 1. They'll get 2. They might look for 3, but there could be danger if they do, because Edwards has a fine arm. And there's the reason why. Look at that throw. Titmus 13, Knott 64, 6 for 186. No run there. .90 runs this morning in just over 90 minutes, about 98 minutes in fact for 90 runs. And that's just wide of the slip fieldsman Greg Chappell. It's going right down towards the boundary. Jenner has a very long run from fine leg. He's come right across all of 50 or 60 metres, but he's reduced the scoring to 2. They went fairly slowly on those runs, possibly. It might have been 3, but it's a very hot day out there. Greg Chappell. And Mallett giving the ball plenty of air here, trying to entice Knott into playing an attacking shot. And that falling just a bit short, about a metre short of the fieldsman, that's Redpath, but got down to the ground all right by Knott. Suggesting that the way that came off the bat, it might have spun. Good one from Walker. That one's the first one we've seen Knott in a bit of trouble with batting. He's been quite sound out there. They're going, and there's the 50 partnership. Edwards had a shot at the stumps at the far end, but they're through. So the 50 partnership up in 55 minutes, which is good scoring, and it's also the 100 runs today. They've taken the overnight score from 94 to 194. And they've scored those runs in about 109 minutes, which is pretty good scoring. Now this is over number 55, so the new ball due after 10 more overs, which is about 50 minutes after lunch. That one kept very low, and you saw how Not finished there. He had to keep going down to try and play that one.
Jenner to Titmus. Titmus rather will take a couple of runs here. This is Mallet chasing. Back they go for the second as the return goes into the keeper. And that's the 200 up for England in 272 minutes. 6 for 200. Almost 20 minutes of play since lunch, only 5 runs added. It's Redpath. That's the end of the over from Mallet. His 19th. Another maiden, no wicket for 30.
Jenner is going to bowl around the wicket, and it appears that he's going to have a slip in a gully. See whether he can get some fizz from the pitch, hurry it on to batsman Alan Knott with his leg spin, and see if he can get a bit of lift to get the edge.
It's in the air, but landing in front of Doug Walters.
It's now the second lack of concentration shot that Knott has played within 3 balls from Jenner, including the end of the last over.
Knott gets this one away, dispatches it beautifully to the boundary for 4 runs. Takes Knott to 78. Jenner around the wicket to Knott. And that's through the field, wide of Edwards.